Toon Jam.
Toon Jam.
Toon Jam. Toon Jam. Toon Jam. Toon Jam. Oh, maybe not. Toon Jam. Toon Jam. Hello and welcome to Toon Jam. I'm Matt.
And I'm J-Man.
And this week we are talking about the real adventures of Jonny Quest.
Whoa.
This was a continuation of the Hanna-Barbera classic Jonny Quest, which was first released in 1964. It carried on from that series, ignoring the later series, The New Adventures of Jonny Quest, in 86. It ran for 52 episodes, and it was from August 96 to April 97. So not too long. It wasn't very popular. They didn't manage to gain high ratings, and merchandise performed poorly. They did release, however, 8 VHS tapes, 26 DVD episodes, and 2 laser discs.
Oh yes. They are sought after now.
Yeah. You can now get all 52 episodes on the iTunes store.
Oh.
So if you want to watch today's episode, which is season 1, episode 22, The Expedition of Kumbu, which is an interesting episode. It's one of the most highest rated. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right.
So that's a bit of background on it. So let's talk about our memories. Yes. So Jonny Quest, The Real Adventures of.
The Real
Adventures. That is important.
Yeah.
What are your memories, if any?
I mainly remember the fact that it had CGI in.
Yeah.
Because that is kind of the pull for this one, I think.
Definitely. And it was like a virtual reality.
Yeah.
It was basically like reboot within the... It was like Tintin meets reboot. Yeah. Sort of thing.
That's right, yeah. It's pretty good.
That's basically Jonny Quest.
That's it. Yeah. And so I think
sorry.
And
coughing in all your ears.
Before, at this point we didn't really see a lot of CGI.
No.
And so like it was cool to see it in
and it's evident why.
Yeah.
When watching this.
Oh yeah, it gets a bit spooky.
Yeah.
Unintentionally.
Interesting.
Yeah. What about you?
I really loved Jonny Quest. I think because I liked that sort of the Tintin-y, Indiana Jonesy sort of genre anyway, the adventure of it. I liked that it had CG in it, because when you were a kid that was just like, what is this? Is like amazing. I also remember having the toys that didn't perform very well.
Oh right.
I had like a little Jeep.
Oh cool.
That had a Jonny, Race and Haji in it, and the dog.
Oh, right,
which wasn't in this episode, but there's a little dog there sometimes. But yeah, I was a big fan of Jonny Quest.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's our memories. I think
Yeah, I mean
pretty straightforward. Also, the theme tune.
Oh yeah.
I didn't really remember it until I saw it again. I was like, oh boy, I remember this, and it was like, so intense.
It's such a good theme.
Yeah,
I've actually got the. There's a metal version of this.
Is there?
I think Mega Driver maybe. I've got it on my workout playlist. As soon as I hear
that's
this,
like your pump out song.
Get ready to get pumped on this.
Dun 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 dun. Yeah,
so good. So rousing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I imagine if you saw this.
Arousing.
Huh?
Rousing.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. So, on that note, let's go to our playthrough.
Rewind. Playthrough.
So
take it away. Oh yeah, sorry.
I'll take it away. In this episode, we are up in a very snowy environment.
It's a bit like Tibet, isn't it?
Yeah. Some eastern place with a lot of high altitude.
Kumbu.
Yeah. And we see Johnny's dad and his guide trudging through the snow. and they're on the way to go to a monastery, I think, or they're looking for something, and then soon enough, another bunch of bad guys are also up there with them, and they decide to shoot off looks like an RPG, like a grenade.
It's like a sniper RPG.
Yeah, it's weird. I think it's like maybe an explosive round on the end of a sniper rifle.
Yeah, but it does look like a rocket.
Yeah, it's like a rocket, but he attaches it onto the end of.
Pretty cool, to be fair.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, mixing it up.
Yeah.
And shoots that into the surface of the cliffs, causing an avalanche, and suddenly Johnny's dad and his guide are covered in snow.
Yeah.
And the next thing we see is it cuts to Jonny back at their house, or where he's engaged in a VR situation.
Swift game of VR Tomb Raider. Or
That's
whatever.
it. Yeah, he fights like a scorpion bullet statue or something with a sword.
Yeah,
it's a bit weird and doesn't really make sense, but it's cool to watch.
We'll definitely come back to that.
We'll come back to that. And then basically, I think Race hears the news that something's happened to his dad, and those guys have to head over to try and find out what's going on. They arrive at a monastery, which is sort of governed by a bunch of sort of like
very mysterious monks,
especially the mysterious monk himself, who seems to be their leader.
His hood is so far over his face that you can't see anything.
No,
so immediately you know where it's going with
it. Definitely. There's absolutely no mystery there, because his head is basically invisible, which it didn't make any sense that it didn't terrify everybody there in the first place. But basically the monks have some sort of artifacts there, and this other group seem to arrive at the same time, led by Professor Kyle, who seems to be a dastardly kind of character who's after any artifact available. And
they're searching for the Yeti.
Yeah, they're searching for the Yeti.
And there's supposedly at this monastery a Yeti arm.
Yeah.
That is proof of a Yeti.
So he basically bribed some guys to get hold of it. Meanwhile, Jonny and the crew are trying to find his dad and trying to find out what happens. And they kind of end up crossing paths a few times. Jonny sort of intercepts the theft of the Yeti arm and ends up looking like he stole it. And so they end up. He jumps.
Everyone turns on him
out of a window, very dramatically.
A very hasty decision.
It's just impressive that he just launches himself out a window with seemingly no ground underneath him. But eventually, he lands safe in the snow, basically, him, Jesse, and Hadji are both all out in the snow with not really much left to.
I love at this point as well. Hadji's first. Like they're like, oh, we're not going to survive, and Hadji's just like, well, at this point, our decision is: do we die in the snow or do we just get our knives out?
Yeah,
and it's just like, you've been out for like 2 seconds, and Hadji's ready to off himself.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, that's it, guys.
That's really cool.
Game over.
He's he's straight up with the facts, and he's a realistic kind of guy. He knows what's going on, Hadji. But things occur in the snow. They get trapped at some point. And
there's a whole adventure scene where they're pulling each other up from some bizarre trap that I don't really know where it came from.
No, that was never really explained. No. Meanwhile, back at the monastery, Professor Kyle's sort of ended up locking up the monks, and is kind of
he's got like 2 monks on his side that he's bribed, and they're like, I have found a new religion, money.
So they end up kind of taking over the monastery. Jonny and crew manage to like head back in time, and they find a little room where there's a baby Yeti inside of it.
Yeah, it's pretty alarming.
Yeah, and they're like, what's going on? And there's suddenly all sorts of...
It just seems to cut. I don't really know what happened at this point.
No.
It seems to all spin out. And
suddenly everything's all happening at the same time.
And then an army of Yeti arrive.
Yeah, save the day, take the Yeti back, and Johnny's dad arrives at the door shortly after.
Who's been saved by Yetis.
Yeah, and it's all pretty much roses and cream.
And then, the biggest surprise of all.
Then the reveal occurs.
Actually, the head of the monastery was a Yeti all along.
Oh, snap. Did not see it coming.
The end. Toon Jam! Toon Jam!
So, yeah, that's basically the breakdown of
of Jonny Quest.
Yeah.
Expedition to Kumbu. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about, really.
Yeah.
Let's start with the CG.
Yeah.
I mean, this is impressively bad.
I mean,
So when did I say it was made? 96, 97?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So when you think Toy Story came out in 95,
Mm-hmm.
that's a film. You know, you're going to get... But wasn't Reboot around then as well?
I think so, yeah.
Reboot was a lot better than this was.
Yeah.
This was bad.
Yeah, the N64 came out in like 96.
Yeah.
So you were playing games with these kind of graphics.
With better graphics in game.
Yeah.
This was bad.
Mm-hmm.
But in saying that, I don't remember it being that bad at the time.
No.
So it's hard to say if it's just... But then we were kids.
Yeah, I think on the whole, the look of it was... I was expecting worse, actually. Like it wasn't
I think
terrible.
The poorness of it was there was a lot of... I mean, there was a lot of recycled...
Oh, yeah.
Like, they just kept...
They kept boomeranging.
It was dead weird. That's what made it so bad, I think. It was just like, we've done this 2-second clip, but it needs to be 4.
Yeah.
So we just quickly flip it.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's dead obvious what they're doing.
Yeah, and then also the lip sync was just non-existent.
No.
Like Johnny's mouth was just like open the whole time, and it was terrifying because it's like...
And his eyes were just so slow to react.
Yeah,
to it
was just became ghastly, didn't it? Like really quickly, it was like, oh no, like...
The CG was not good.
It's not.
Which at the start of it, I like the way they introduced the show. With like every episode's got that globe.
Yeah.
And it's like a CG globe, and it's all right. You don't think like that's bad.
Yeah.
And then it shows you where exactly they are, what they're doing, and like
yeah.
And that was cool. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. This is really cool. And then when that came out, I was like,
whoa! Like, oh boy.
But I do remember liking the VR bits when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I mean, even the intro's got that stupid green.
Yeah, I thought
like,
the intro was like still really cool. Like it somehow, because the camera kind of tilts and you kind of go through that, you fly through these.
It's like the Spider-Man intro, isn't it? Like, where you were going through the streets.
And like I found myself like tilting my head while I was watching it. It's like, oh, this actually looks pretty impressive. Like, but then you realise that was basically the extent of their abilities was. Few green lines.
But I don't know how much of it is from today's point of view, because I do remember liking it as a kid.
I remember liking it.
I remember liking those bits and really wanting to do VR just because he was doing it.
And I think that I'm sure there's a couple of episodes where they don't go into VR, and I was always really disappointed where that didn't happen in the show, and like the lack of VR upset me. So I must have enjoyed seeing the CGI bits before.
Another thing that I think was one of the most addressable, Haji. As a character. Now they've toned him down a bit for this. He's still pretty stereotypical Indian kid with a turban on. That I think he was more so in the old ones. But it's not even that I really want to address. It's his character is hilarious. And sometimes you're like, do they even know what they're doing with Haji? Like sometimes I even wrote down like, oh yeah, Haji's very wise. But then there's one bit where well, I wrote it down. They, where they're dangling the trap. And is it Jessie? She pulls them up. And they're dangling for ages. And she's like, you guys are heavy. And and he just turned, and I don't know why he said it, but he goes, we are heavy with the wisdom.
It's such a good line. I wrote that down too.
Another quote that I had to write down because it cracked me up was at the start when they're looking for the Yeti. And just someone comes out with, like, he's warning him, like he's warning Dr. Quest. And he says, to look on the face of an abominable snowman is to invite death.
It's just like,
it's just like, where did that come from?
So weird.
It's just, you're just like, someone's just writing stupid lines. But it did make me laugh. I did enjoy that.
It did have some good lines. I'm pretty sure at some point Race says bird on a catfish as an
it does.
It's like bird on a catfish. It's like, what does that mean?
I think it's fur on a catfish.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so.
And then I also wrote down as well that, like, because I think this is weird as well, like how calm like Dr. Quest is about everything.
About everything, yeah. He's so used to the danger though.
Because like when he returns at the end and he just kind of waves off the end, he's just like, see you in a bit. Yeah. Like it's just waving his taxi away or something.
And they're just trudging around.
Yeah, like, hey Johnny, I'm happy to see you. But like at the start, the avalanche is coming towards them and they're literally about to die, and he's just like, we got to get out of here. He just says it so casually. Like, it's so weird.
I think there's a certain amount. The monastic order.
Yeah.
First of all, their castle.
Yeah.
It's like on a really unreachable cliff. I don't know how anyone gets there. But it's really, there's no bridge. There's a bridge to it later.
Yeah.
But every other shot is just, it stood on its own on top of a tower.
It's just a monolith.
Like, how they get up there. Second of all, the arm of the Yeti.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
I don't know. I never really understood
like if
that.
you were I would say Yetis are like the people, and humans, and all of a sudden you're a leader of a monastic order, who revere the humans. Would you have a human arm as a relic?
You just wouldn't do it.
It just doesn't. No. I don't know. There was nothing explaining it, or it was just there as a plot piece that didn't really add up to anything.
It's just like, it's just a mutilated friend of the guy you run.
I wondered if it was his arm at one point, because I mean it was fairly obvious he was a Yeti.
That's it. Yeah, but then no, both hands.
Yeah, both hands. Like that's how he revealed it. Like, ooh, hands out.
Yeah, goodbye. And they are genuinely shocked as well.
Yeah, like, what?
Yeah, it's so bizarre.
Yeah,
but floating heads they're not bothered by that, which is weird. That was the weirdest thing I thought. It's just like, why is no one terrified of this ghostly man walking around?
No,
but not bothered by it.
No,
it is an odd one, and I think it's obviously got lots of sort of good morals in there.
Yeah, because there's a very big like nature overtone in there of like leaving nature be, and it's also got sort of an anti money grabbing sentiment to it as well. Like there's more to life than just doing stuff to get rich.
Yeah,
and like Dr. Quest is a good guy. Like he finds them, and if he knows that he'd ruin their life if
basically
otherwise.
So
he gives them all the evidence. He gives it them back so that no one can find him. So that's good.
Yeah,
but there are some hilarious moments to boot.
Definitely.
Well, let's hit our ratings. Okay, so we have a 3-point rating system here at the Toon Jam Pod HQ. Thumbs up, Yeti hand still in place. Thumbs down. Oh, I think that's an avalanche.
Very good.
And shaky middle is
fur on a catfish.
Fur on a catfish. Not really sure. So, Jonny Quest, the real adventures of Jonny Quest.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Yes. Well, I mean, I see why it's the real adventures of Jonny Quest, because the faux adventures of Jonny Quest happen in VR. So maybe that's what they're getting at.
Maybe that's a good point. Yeah,
because he has adventures in there.
He does.
The real adventures occur when he takes the headset off, which is a moral.
It's a moral in itself. Yeah, didn't even think about that. And
you know, when we move into the era of VR, then that's something we need to think about. Yeah. Are we going to still have real adventures? We just don't know.
That's the sad truth.
We'll never know.
Sad truth. Well, we might know.
No. But yeah, it's a fun show. Like it is like an adventure show. Like there's a lot of action goes on. There's a lot of running around, jumping out of windows. Yeah. Which, I mean, that was impressive.
Yeah.
So he just resorted to window jumping.
And it's dramatic, you know.
Yeah.
Haji was ready to kill himself.
Oh yeah.
Within a second.
He
was like, let's get the knives out.
Knives out.
Now's time, come on.
Yeah. So it's fun to watch, like, no doubt. Yeah. The CGI definitely dodgy.
Oh yeah, horrifically bad.
Definitely dodgy. That open-mouthed Jonny Quest is definitely.
I think that's the worst things even the boomerang stuff, that's bad, but it's his facial expressions.
His face is haunting.
Yeah,
haunting. The mouth that opens to the point where there's just like a hole,
it's
like
so
a void
bizarre.
Where his throat should be.
Yeah,
terrifying stuff. So yeah, got to take that on board.
Yeah.
But it's also, it's got good morals behind it.
Yeah.
And
it's a shame it wasn't more popular.
Yeah,
because I don't think it deserved such a low rep.
No. But I mean, I enjoyed watching it through, and there wasn't, even though the CGI was like, oh dear, I still enjoyed the episode. So for me, it's going to be a thumbs up.
A thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Okay.
For Jonathan Quest.
Well, I agree with you on everything. It was fun. It was enjoyable.
Yeah.
It had a lot of stupid moments.
Yeah.
Which did add to it. Made it probably more enjoyable. But I don't know if it was for the right reasons. Yeah. I am torn between an up and a shaky middle. And I don't know which way to go with it. And I feel like a lot of it is probably based on my memories of Jonny Quest. And I still really like Jonny. I like the idea of it.
Yeah.
I like the adventure side of it. But I have to take into account that this is the highest rated episode.
That's true.
It was fun. I'd put it at a top shaky middle. So it's not, I don't think it's great. I'm probably not going to go back and watch anymore. Yeah. But it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be shaky middle, on that.
Yeah.
So
reserved, yeah.
Yeah. But a high shaky middle.
Yeah.
So I'm not, I wasn't disappointed, but I was. So
yeah.
And it was funny.
Yeah.
Haji, if it was just called The Real Adventures of Haji, it'd be thumbs
straight
up.
I
just want to watch a Haji show.
Yeah. But we don't know how long that would last for.
No, that's
knowing
true.
how quick he was.
It starts, he falls over, and then just is like, it's game over for me.
Yeah, before the titles end.
But, we're all heavy with wisdom.
That's it, that's true. Yeah, he is wise.
Yeah, wise beyond his years.
Yeah.
So, there we have it. Another week. Another real adventure. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for listening. If you did enjoy it, please rate and review us on iTunes, on Spotify, on whatever it is you listen to us. It really helps us out. If you're interested, there are Patreon episodes, so get a little bit of spondoolies, helps us out, and then you get some extra through the ages episodes, as well as movies, pilots, all sorts of. We try and mix it up a little bit on there. So if that sounds good, take a look. Otherwise, hopefully we'll see you again next week.
Yeah.
Not visually, but or at all. You'll just hear us next week.
No, it's
not a real. But join us again next week for more real adventures. And until then, stay real and jammy.
Hey everyone, thank you for listening to Toon Jam, and if you want to continue to help us out, you can help us by jumping over to our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/toonjampod, and if you can rate and review us everywhere you listen to your podcasts, so on iTunes or on the Android apps, that'll be a massive help too. Thank you, and stay jammy.